We're going to start with message number 1 of the church of today, the modern church, however you want to put it. Right here. Jesus said, stop resisting. This is one that's really been pushed recently as of the 2020s. And they always like to say, Jesus said stop resisting. We're supposed to make sure that we submit to authority and all that stuff. And they usually grab it from Romans 13, which is another one of those lovely things that's taken out of context. And so if we pull up Romans 13, it's usually 13, 1 through 2. It says, let every soul be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except from God, and the authorities that exist are appointed by God. Therefore, whoever resists the authority, that's where we're getting this from, resists the ordinance of God, and those who resist will bring judgment on themselves. So usually whenever they're pushing this message of Jesus said stop resisting, they're quoting Romans 13, but it's usually always taken out of context. It's amazing how everybody can do that. And it usually flows into the second message, which was pushed by actually some people that you might know, that you might follow now. I'm not going to go into a big list just because this isn't about calling specific people. This is just about having the general idea. But if we look at this, it goes message 2, which is Jesus died for you, so take the vitamin. I had to blur that out, obviously. Hopefully that's enough. But yeah, so we're just going to go ahead and take that down because I don't want to get hit. But that's usually what it flows into. So those messages usually go hand in hand by going with the Romans 13, 1 through 2, which is governing authorities. You must submit to the governing authorities. Now, where the confusion, the contextual confusion of this comes from is, who is the Bible deeming as the authority? And most people, they just naturally go with the people in select positions. And we'll take a look at some people that I'm sure you'll recognize here, whether it be the police or your presidents or your governors or anybody in those offices, judges. They usually look at the authority figures as people. But when you look at this, governing authorities, well, I'm only going to speak from the aspect of America on this because I don't know how other countries, I know somewhat, but I'm not going to even delve into that. So I'm just going to speak from America. When it's talking about governing authorities, it's not talking about these people. What it's talking about is that the governing authority is the law of the land. So for America, that is the Constitution. That is what we submit to, the Constitution of the United States, at least for people here in America. So if these people are in conflict with this, then we don't follow these people. We follow this. And the ultimate authority that placed this in the position of power that we are supposed to submit to only works if that is in that's not the word I'm looking for. To this. So if you've got authority figures, whether it's a judge, a president, police officer, anybody in that perspective that is going against the Constitution and or the Bible, then we are not required to follow that because that is not according to the governing authority that God has given to us. And so when these people are talking about stop resisting, Jesus said stop resisting, and you need to take what the governing authorities are telling you, and you need to do what the governing authorities are telling you, and all of that goes against the Constitution and or the Bible, then we as Christians do not follow along with those orders. Our orders come from the Bible. which tells us that the Constitution is our governing authority. And anybody who goes against that, we are not required to follow. And so that is a message that is very much taken out of context by these modern churches who are trying to get you to follow along with the progressive idea of what we're supposed to be doing. Now, as far as everybody outside of the United States, I know some people don't have constitutions in their countries and whatnot. You still have the Bible. So if anything goes against Scripture, against the Bible in that way, then you are not required to follow along with that. And that is straight from the Word itself. So the context thing usually has an idea of, oh, we're supposed to just follow what the authority people say. No, we follow the law of the land, which is the Constitution, which they treat like a piece of paper, but it's still the authority that God tells us to follow. So